Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. We begin tonight in the Northwest Territories, where one person has died after a helicopter crashed about 1.5 kilometers off Highway 3 near Betchacon. Police say the pilot was the only person on board. RCMP responded to the crash site around noon. They say they found the pilot injured and gave CPR, but he later died. The Transportation Safety Board says it's currently gathering information on what happened. A TSB spokesperson tells the CBC that the helicopter was registered to Yellowknife's Great Slave Helicopters. A person who answered the phone at the company says no one is speaking to the media at the moment. NWT Fire confirmed that the helicopter involved was not related to any wildfire response efforts. 2 people died in a Igloolik, Nunvoot over the weekend. The coroner's office confirmed the deaths to the CBC today. RCMP say they got a report that 2 men had fallen into the water north of the hamlet on Sunday. Both men were recovered and, despite life-saving efforts, did not survive. Both men were 26 years old. The coroner and the RCMP are still investigating. Nunvoot's premier says the entire territory is standing with Pond Inlet after a triple tragedy. The coroner's office is investigating 3 deaths in the community. Nunvoot Premier PJ Akyaguk says the government is committed to providing all the needed support and it's mobilized all available resources. Other organizations are also helping out. The Embrace Life Council is sending grief care packages, while Rankin Inlet-based Pularvik Kublu Friendship Center has sent a team of counselors to Pond Inlet. Bad weather affected flights for Nunavut Dungavik staff, but a spokesperson says the organization is continuing to look at what it can do to support the community. There's help if you need it in English and Inuktitut. You can call the Kamatsiaktut helpline, the Embrace Life Council, or the Kids Help phone. All of those numbers are on your screen right now. And for the Kids Help phone, you can also text TALK to 686868. One man is in custody and another is in hospital after a stabbing over the weekend in Dawson City, Yukon. On Saturday morning, Dawson City RCMP responded to a report that a man had been stabbed and was in the hospital. A 24-year-old man from Dawson City was later arrested. Police charged him with aggravated assault, assault with a weapon, and possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose. The accused made his first court appearance on Sunday and remains in custody. He'll appear in court again on Tuesday in Whitehorse. An NWT Supreme Court judge has handed down a sentence of 2.5 years to a woman who drove a truck into a man in Yellowknife. Hannah Lafferty's sentencing took place this morning. She was found guilty of dangerous driving causing death after a trial in April. Just over 3 years ago, she was in her father's truck in the Bison Estates parking lot. Jermaine Mantla was walking nearby when Lafferty hit the gas and ran into him. He later died of his injuries. During her trial, Lafferty said she was in a panic, trying to escape her boyfriend's jealous ex. Lafferty will be prohibited from driving for 3 years after she serves her sentence. Her lawyer says she plans to appeal the sentence. A lack of government communication and coordination led to a months-long gap between the discovery of lead in the water at some Yellowknife schools. That's the broad finding of an investigation into how the government of the Northwest Territories dealt with the situation. It laid out a long timeline, starting with a need to test for lead in schools in both 2018 and then again in January of 2024, and ending with parents being notified about high lead levels in May of 2025, months after the first test results were received. Today, we heard from multiple officials about that record and that report. Let's first take a look, though, at the groups involved in this story. There are a lot of them. They're all in the NWT. So we have the Department of Education, Culture and Employment, the Department of Infrastructure, the Office of the Chief Public Health Office, Yellowknife Catholic Schools, and Yellowknife Education Division number 1. So those are the groups involved. And we heard from representatives of most of those groups today. The CBC's Jocelyn Chappelle was there. She joins us now live with more. So Jocelyn, what did they say?
Yeah, Megan, the briefing addressed where things went wrong with the school water testing. It included things like there not being a formal written project plan, and the investigation found this to be a major issue. For example, if they found high levels of lead in the school, they were going to wait until those results were confirmed to make decisions. There was also issues with communication between officials and with the public. The Office of the Chief Public Health Officer had to ask to be included in things like test results in order to receive that information. Now, government and health officials are working to change this. One way they are doing that is by making report findings public. They say it's all in an effort to rebuild trust.
I'm a parent of a student in William McDonald. I can understand and acknowledge the concern from parents there and in other schools about how this was handled, and we're making all efforts to ensure that that doesn't happen again.
So what happens next, Jocelyn?
Yeah, Megan. For people concerned about lead exposure, blood testing is available. As of July 7th, 80 appointments have been booked. Now, for school water, the GNWT is developing protocols. This includes routine school water testing. The school with the highest lead levels is Ecole William McDonald Middle School. Where exactly it's coming from is still unclear. The next step the government is looking to take is looking at building drawings and at on-site plumbing conditions. The government says a steering committee is already being developed so that issues around miscommunication don't happen again, and that more details will be shared as all these action items begin to roll out.
Okay, thank you, Jocelyn. That is the CBC's Jocelyn Chappelle reporting live. Now, the report also made recommendations about what should be done differently in the future. Let's go over all 6 of them right now. The GNWT needs to develop a coordinated approach for lead testing in the water of all NWT schools. The Office of the Chief Public Health Officer should do a presentation explaining health issues related to lead in drinking water for all organizations involved in this situation. Anytime there's a potential problem that could affect people's health in schools or daycares, the issue should be flagged and brought to management. The Department of Education, Culture and Employment should clarify roles and responsibilities within the 2 school boards when it comes to operations and maintenance, including for water testings. Any outstanding tests or retests that need to be done should happen this fall with guidance from the Office of the Chief Public Health Officer. And that office, as well as the Department of Education, Culture and Employment, should meet to figure out how to best test water in the future and pass those results on to everyone involved in this situation. The GNWT says it's reviewed these recommendations and is taking action. Officials say some are complete, while others will be addressed in the future. Shortly after this report was made public, Caitlin Cleveland, the Minister for Education, Culture and Employment, issued a statement that reads in part, "The investigation confirms that warning signs were missed, key test results weren't escalated quickly enough, and communication between departments and with the public was inconsistent. These are serious systemic failures that affected both safety and trust. That is not acceptable. I take full responsibility for ensuring we fix it. We can't undo what happened, but we can take responsibility, learn from it, and make sure it doesn't happen again." Some relief for residents of Jean Marie River in the NWT. They're no longer under an evacuation alert because of a nearby wildfire. The alert has been downgraded to a notice. That means there isn't an immediate threat, but people should be prepared just in case. A notice is the lowest on the 3-tier system the NWT uses for emergencies. Jean Marie River has been on evacuation alert since July 7th due to a wildfire burning about 24 kilometers northwest of the community. In an update, NWT Fire said crews and air tankers are continuing to work on the fire and prevent it from spreading towards the community. In Manitoba, there are more than 120 wildfires burning right now, forcing the evacuation of 8 communities. Residents of 3 First Nations in the province's Island Lake region have had to leave their homes to escape the flames. Karen Pauls has the latest.
With fires burning all around the Island Lake region, more than 1,500 people have been evacuated on military airlifts, joining others who left earlier on commercial flights, not knowing when they'll return.
Everybody's sort of on high alert, watching and monitoring the situation. And we certainly think of our neighboring community, Garden Hill, who's had the fire breach and is now in the community and threatening homes.
Garden Hill is one of 2 First Nations in the area with an airport. Neighboring communities have been sending residents there by boat.
My concern is the access points of leaving, because we don't have an airport here. We either have to go to Garden Hill or St. Trees to catch a plane. So what happens if it's too smoky? Like how do we planes can't land?
The province says it's put more resources on the ground to protect communities and infrastructure.
Have been making some progress there, though it has been a bit challenging just due to smoke conditions and some pretty intense fire activity there.
The decision to evacuate is not made lightly. It is made based on real-time assessments of risk, road access, smoke, and the medical needs of communities. And those decisions are made with local leadership.
Local leadership are trying to support evacuees at this command center in a Winnipeg hotel. Most Garden Hill residents are staying in hockey rinks and soccer complexes. This man is trying to find hotels for the most vulnerable.
All the dialysis people, all the elders are on that list, all the people with medical issues, asthma patients and the infants.
All told, 12,000 Manitobans have been forced from their homes in a wildfire season that has already burned more than 2% of the province's land. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
People in southern Ontario are dealing with hot and hazy conditions. A heat warning is in effect for most of the region. And to make matters worse, smoke has been drifting south from wildfires in northern Ontario. Thomas Dagley reports.
Canada's biggest city under a blanket of smoke, with Toronto facing poor air quality and extreme heat warnings. There's no letting up for those delivering meals on a bike.
Bro, there is a very difficult, there is too much heat, so like wearing a mask.
It's a tough time to be sure for all outside workers, as experts urge anyone who can to reschedule outdoor events. The conditions especially dangerous for many.
The very young, the very old, pregnant women, people who are immunocompromised, people with asthma, people with other lung conditions. That ends up being a fairly broad swath of the population.
Devastating wildfires in northern Ontario are sending smoke thousands of kilometers away, with air quality plummeting for millions living in the south. A thick haze hung over Windsor, while tourists at Niagara Falls encountered a dark sky overhead. At one point, Toronto was listed as the city with the worst air quality in the world, behind only Baghdad. Even for those indoors, Environment Canada says to keep windows closed. Those out for an early stroll found out why in a hurry.
When we walked out this morning, it was really hot already, even though, it's super cloudy and the air quality, as you can see, it's quite bad.
It's obviously hazy. I feel the smoke in the back of my throat.
While the smoke is expected to lift Tuesday, the heat, sometimes feeling like 40 degrees, won't ease until later in the week.
Because the climate crisis is real, we know that the heat waves are starting earlier, lasting longer and more frequent.
Divyansh Singh is keeping his arms and mouth covered. This summer so far, he says, has been brutal.
This year, it's boom, man. It's so bad.
Out for another delivery, he's contending with the conditions as best he can. Thomas Dagley, CBC News, Toronto.
Welcome to your new home.
Mais il est trop chaud. He understands French. I'm not seeing this as a suicide.
Someone sure wanted us to think it was.
Gallagher is suspect number 1.
Tell me, was it the man's politics you didn't like, or the fact that he's living with your wife?
I know he's into something. I just got to prove it.
No, we all have a past. Find his.
Be careful around Fitz. Donnie's got a lot of demons that tend to appear when no one expects it.
New year, new school, new uniform.
High school was a chance at reinvention, a whole new me. Who to join? Jocks? Nerds? This was life or death.
Take a risk. Life's short. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Just live your own.
Sometimes you find yourself in the right place at the right time. And if you're there with the right people, well, it doesn't get any better than that.
I brought a few friends along with me today.
3, 2, 1.
Mom, you're embarrassing me in front of the dragons.
Take me home, James.
Full of surprises here on The Den. Dragon's Den. Watch free on CBC Gem.
Our family is about to do something we've never done before.
Leave the store while we go to India.
Looks like you're not going back.
More than a year after the Northwest Territories government proposed amending an agreement over waters that flow between Alberta and the NWT, it remains unchanged. Last April, the territorial government suggested adding specific criteria for being notified of spills in waters shared with the NWT. It came after Alberta failed to inform the territorial government of one of the biggest tailings spills in oil sands history. Despite the lack of progress on the proposed changes, the current Minister for Environment and Climate Change says he's happy with relations between the two jurisdictions.
You know, things have, since Curl, I think, really become a more positive environment in that we're communicating regularly.
McDonald was not able to say when or if any of the proposed changes would be implemented. Thousands of people in Quebec are without power following a violent storm that swept across the province on Sunday. It knocked down power lines and flooded intersections and buildings. Gabrielle Ellison-Scowcroft has more on the aftermath.
I'm here in Pointe Claire at the intersection of Marsh and St. Louis, where some residents are dealing with flooded basements for the second time in a year.
The whole thing was like an ocean here. Nothing was draining. It was just saturated and stuck. In the point, it just kept rising and rising.
The storm that caused the damage dumped over 70 millimeters of rain in 2 hours.
It was very dirty, and the basement is still, it's like the ground, you know? It's like you put the topsoil on the ground. It's like all over black over there.
Last August, this neighborhood was also hit hard by the remnants of Tropical Storm Debbie.
Everything was replaced. The walls were cut, gyprock replaced, floor replaced.
Furniture?
And the furniture was replaced. It was like it was close to 50,000 that we claimed for. We picked up as much as we could with shop vacs. We have 3 shop vacs going, but I don't know the extent because it's underneath the floor. We may have to rip up all the floors again.
We complained to the city last year, but they didn't do anything.
The local mayor says, like other municipalities, they're looking for solutions.
The flooding is all over, and in places that haven't been flooded in ever are getting flooded. So some are a repeat, and we do have problem areas. We also have new areas that may become regular areas. We're dealing with Mother Nature right now, and she's changing a lot of things.
For those residents dealing with water damage again, they're hoping the city resolves the problem before the next storm.
That was the CBC's Gabrielle Ellison-Scowcroft. Following the flooding in Texas that killed at least 20 children and more than 100 others, Canadian parents are asking, could it happen here? Jessica Chung brings us more on efforts to keep kids safe at camp should a natural disaster strike.
These are the cabins that we have. Mostly girl campers would stay in these cabins.
Preparing for another batch of campers to come in, David Seeley says safety is front of mind for his summer camp near Abbotsford, BC, especially on the heels of the flooding disaster in Texas.
When we hear about a tragedy, it does make us relook at what we've done. It makes us look at where our policies are and double checking on what are our policies for the less likely tragic scenarios. That's something that we definitely are looking at.
Earlier this month, floods in Texas swept through an all-girls Christian camp, Counselors tried to protect their campers as the water rose, but dozens were killed.
When something like this happens, we feel it across North America.
Accredited summer camps in Canada are overseen by the Canadian Camping Association. It sets out best practices like camp safety plans, evacuation procedures, emergency drills, and mandatory first aid training for staff, all of which are reviewed yearly. The association says this latest tragedy will have an impact on how camps deal with emergency situations in the future.
There is going to be a lot of professional development that will continue to happen around extreme weather and certainly around heavy rain and flooding.
But experts say floods like the one that swept through Texas aren't likely here in Canada.
I think actually a larger issue is wildfire, because they can move incredibly fast. It takes very little time for an out-of-control wildfire to travel a few kilometers.
Seeley says his message for any concerned parents is that it's still worth it to get kids outdoors.
The reason why we're out here is because it's enjoyable to be out here. There's health benefits to be out here as well.
For camp organizers, their focus will be on safety so campers can focus on making lasting memories. Jessica Chung, CBC News, Lyndall Beach, BC.
Artificial intelligence is now affecting many aspects of our lives, including education. But many teachers aren't sure how to use it in the classroom. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson shows us the approach some are taking.
Microsoft and OpenAI say they're investing $23 million US into the National Academy of AI Instruction, a partnership with the second biggest teachers union in the US.
Teachers are looking for ways so that we can use it as a GPS system, not as a driverless car. That we can navigate it, that we can harness it.
In Canada, places like Alberta and Quebec have rolled out AI guidance for schools, but comprehensive, detailed instructions for teachers are still missing.
Teachers are really struggling with artificial intelligence. They're struggling on their own because there are no policies and frameworks put in place.
This math teacher admits many of his colleagues are still wary of AI in the classroom, but he's found ways to make it work and is now helping his colleagues.
One of the ways that math teachers have been using AI is to teach students how to turn, say, ChatGPT into a tutor with some very intelligent prompting, and then arming that student with the ability to ask ChatGPT for math help when they're at home.
This English teacher says there's room for AI even in her field, but she's skeptical of tech giants' intentions.
It's really important for us to pay close attention to what's at the heart of that training. And whether student well-being and success is at the heart.
AI's impact on teachers' confidence and authority also can't be overlooked, says this professor of education.
It changes teachers' perception of themselves. For example, a lot of teachers are thinking, if I integrate AI, am I actually the teacher? Who owns this? Who is pedagogically in charge of the teaching?
As educators struggle to integrate new technology that promises to have all the answers but poses just as many questions. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
The rehab center at the Yukon Wildlife Preserve has seen an influx of baby birds this summer, but there isn't an influx of sick or hurt birds. The Yukon Wildlife Preserve says many well-intentioned Yukoners have been submitting baby birds that they find on the ground to the Animal Health Unit. In many cases, those fledglings are not in distress. They just can't fly yet. There are birds all over the territory. Some of them do need help, but in most cases, if you see a bird on the ground, it's doing just fine. Experts say if you're worried, try watching the bird for a while to see if something is wrong before taking action.
If you know that something bad happened, you saw an animal, say a house cat, grab it, or you saw it get hit, or something like that, or if you're seeing blood, or if it's dragging a wing, or it can't move properly, maybe there's a leg is being dragged, kind of thing, then that would be a time when you'd want to get in touch with SEAL Services.
Right. Pelechny says it's important not to separate these young birds from their parents too early by taking them to the preserve. He says young birds leaving the nest is a natural part of the process. A group of junior rangers and junior cadets are back home in Nunvoot after an eventful trip to Whitehorse. TJ Deere spoke with some of the youth about what the trip meant to them and the new skills they can pass on to the next generation.
The junior rangers and junior cadets were in Yukon's capital to complete the enhanced training session. Over 2 weeks, they participated in activities like horseback riding and whitewater rafting. They also took part in traditional activities, where one junior ranger even got to butcher a seal. Lindsay Kaluk is a junior cadet from Arctic Bay.
Since I was little, I always wanted to join the Rangers, and I finally joined when I turned 16 years old.
Before and after their time in Whitehorse, the junior rangers and cadets spent time in Iqaluit. They visited the RCMP building, went to the Legion, and even got a tour of the Nunavut Legislative Assembly, where they met with Nunavut's premier, who was a former ranger himself. Second Lieutenant Aloysius Chan was the officer helping organize the logistics of the kids' stay in Iqaluit. He said the training program helps build leadership skills, but that the adult officers also learn from them.
I'm not a hunter, I don't hunt, but like after mingling with the JCRs over the past few days, it was pretty interesting to see to learn that a lot of them 18 years old, 17-year-old are JCRs are hunters themselves, and they actually have the skill sets to do that.
Lily Noah is a junior ranger from Grise Fjord. She was awarded the Order of St. George for her great leadership, positive attitude, and commitment to her peers. She has a message for anyone who might want to sign up.
If you like to travel and go to new places and meet a lot of new people, I would say it's a really great opportunity.
TJ Deere, CBC News, Iqaluit.
And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.